Tell me about the types of data products or data problems that you guys solve, and perhaps you actually I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's talk about data products and how that is perceived by the data team, by the business, and what does it even mean to what do you think is a data product?
Okay.
Because there's
Yeah.
so many
All right. Yeah.
definitions
Let's
of
start
it.
there. And you tell me if you've got a different perspective. The data team was set up with a particular mission in mind, and that was to operationalize data in the business in order to promote loyalty. The number one objective of Pet Circle is to help people pet better. And this sounds like corporate fluff, but it's real. Like this is what we want to do, and we want to do that by promoting loyalty, by giving people the drivers of loyalty. What do they value in a pet business? We want to give that to them. Fast delivery, great advice, expert advice, great range, but the one that suits and is personalized to their dog or cat or lizard or whatever it is. Okay, so and we have an increasing number of lizard and horse, and so it was fantastic.
I was about to ask.
We want to do better on that one. Obviously, dogs and cats are probably our strong suit at the moment. But anyway, so we want to operationalize our data so that we can help people do that better. The biggest kind of split, I would say, in data products is operational data and analytic oriented data. By operations, I mean, like, if you're speaking technically, web services that are accessible to the website, to our emailing system, to our customer service system, so they can really shape the website experience or help a customer service agent understand that, when I call up, my delivery's in transit, and that's likely what I'm going to be talking about, and this has happened before, or whatever. We were definitely focusing on the former, on the operationalization. And then there's a split there between, and you touched on this before, sort of the internal efficiencies and quality. And I think that the best example of that would be like ordering optimally. So we have tens of millions of dollars in stock at any given time, right? With tens of thousands of products. And of course, we're fulfilling tens or like more, hundreds now of thousands of orders every week. It's a beyond human challenge to make sure you're optimizing your stock levels in order to fulfill to all the different customer needs. That
you don't want to be out of stock. You don't want to stock too much.
Exactly.
Right?
Like, we're spending huge amounts of money to set up warehouses all around the country in order to get product to customers faster, but that's useless if we don't have the right products in those warehouses to get to people, right? So basically, optimize the ordering of that against expected repurchase rates, against availability of space in the warehouse, and all these sorts of things, which are best solved with data.
Current issues with the logistics.
Well, it's the primary issue at the moment, of course. But then and then we need sort of mathematical techniques to apply. We use linear algebra then to sort of manipulate the data into the operational set, which is the recommended order. And then on the customer side, which is where we're branching out into now, we have the product recommendation. We have different types of product recommendation. So this one's for our auto delivery customers. So as you'd appreciate, dogs and cats need to be fed fairly regularly. So it's a sort of, we have a quasi subscription model with that, where we give a lot of flexibility, because it's not like a Netflix kind of subscription which just comes through every month. Like, your dog might eat more or less each month or what have you. But it is a subscription type model, and then we sort of recommend complementary products, which is an interesting effort, because there's different ways to solve for that. But the one that I'm most happy that we've got in is a pet detector. So one of the things that I was quite embarrassed about for many, many years is that, despite being a pet specialist business, we didn't always know whether you had a dog or a cat, right? So, or what have you. So, and this is not good, right? We were sending out emails to people saying, "Hey, there's a big sale on dog food." I was like, "I got a cat. I'm buying cat litter from you constantly. Why are you sending me this?" And it's a great question, right?
Yeah.
So, and we did a lot of work on it, but it was challenging. But bringing all the data together and then processing it and such. We now have apparently like well over 99% accuracy on our detection of what sort of a pet you have. And we're looking to delve deeper into sort of segment that out further. Do you have a puppy? Do you have a large breed or a small breed? Tropical fish or a cold water fish, and these
Right.
sorts of things.
So this goes, I suppose, down to the personalization and creating like that user experience.
Exactly. I mean, I've got a cavoodle. So when I log on to Pet Circle, what I want to see is small dog, pampered dog, sort of stuff covering the website. It's not, if there's a litter sale on, it's not relevant to me, but of course we want to personalize it.
Why am I seeing this? Yeah.
And also I want advice about knee conditions which cavoodles can suffer from, from the vet staff and these sorts of things. It's not just about what products to buy, it's about caring for your pet, and that's something that could be led by data, informed very much by data, and then lead people to the right content using data.
I want to dive, if you like, I want to dive into the process of cleaning the data. First of all, bringing it all together and then structuring it to making sure that people can access it easily. What was it like to do that, and how did you organize the data team to accomplish it? There's a lot of debate going on around who should own the data. And as the founder and the head of data, you are in a sweet spot to have. I suppose you have a strong opinion. So I want to hear. Who should own the data?
I do have a strong opinion. being the head of data and the founder doesn't get you quite as much impact on that in a larger organization as you might think. But I see the way it should work is that engineering teams, like the technical team, should own the transactional systems, and obviously structure the data accordingly, focused entirely on transactional efficiency, right? So old terms, OLTP, relational databases, MySQL, Postgres, all these sorts of things. Exactly. Use third normal form, structure it correctly, clean data. That's great. Replicate that into the data lake, which we own, that the data team own, and then let us transform it into usable information. There are some edge cases there. So what happens when there's a fairly useless for the transactional system feed coming in from a transactional system? So an example we have on that are couriers. So we have a bunch of different couriers because it's always a challenge getting high quality delivery, and they'll send transactional feeds through. More like event-based feeds come through. Should that go into the ERP system, which is it's useful, but it's far more useful in my view coming into the data lake. So we went one way on that, which is going into the transactional system, into the ERP, and then there was a transformation occurring in that side, and then it came into the data lake. We've had our challenges with that approach, if that makes sense, from the data team.
Tell me more.
Yeah, so it's very... Once it's transformed, once the data is transformed, I think it's bad practice to transform it again, right? If you're building a transformation on a transformation, something's gone wrong in your data architecture. Yeah, like it's fragile. There's multiple sources of change. And of course, we operate on a different cadence than the engineering teams, right? The product feature engineering teams. And I can't do anything about that, right? That is just the way the world works. They work so hard, the engineering teams, to get features out on the time that they need to. Like our business changes constantly. We're a high growth business. We're working in a very dynamic environment, especially under the current conditions, but that's never going to change. So they rarely can give what I would like to see, the time and effort to preserve the transformation process that they've developed in order to keep not just continuity going in the data environment, but also coherence in the data environment. So that's a big challenge.
So two different velocities, and you have to somehow
yeah.
find a way to bridge.
So one thing we're looking at is actually having a dedicated data engineering, like mini squad, if you like, in the data team to be able to do things like process these feeds that come in and be highly tactical about it. The benefit of that is then the squad the transactional squad, the product feature squad, shouldn't then have to worry about it. So when these, very urgent things come into play, they have more availability. Like, they have less to do because they don't have to worry about this side issue and focus on integrating a new courier or changing their processes to handle a new courier system. But we're working our ways through that as a business, to be honest. I don't have the definitive answer.
Yeah, and few companies, few teams have it. To be honest, it's an ongoing learning experience. It's part of the reason why we changed name from the data project to discovering data, because
we all are.
It doesn't, we all are. It's a work in progress, definitely.